Hello, I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Karla Shaffer, and this is Anne Arundel County Week in Review. We have a great show for you, including a chat with a social networker and a look at how things are coming for a new community center in West County. Making headlines this week, County Executive Leopold has announced the date for the next Community Connections Day and Constituent Open House. This is a chance for you to meet the county executive and his staff one-on-one to address a problem. You can also check out our displays set up by each department that show you what services the county provides. Rec and Parks will be on hand to tell you about our youth athletic programs. Public Works will show you our upcoming capital projects and our new efforts to boost recycling. Animal Control will be there with cats and dogs looking for new homes, and the list goes on and on. County Executive Leopold said of the effort, "We have created an open door policy for citizens to access their government. These events are a great opportunity to see firsthand what our agencies do and also solve problems by working directly with those in charge."
A particular case struck a nerve in the community when a retired teacher was found shot to death in her car. County Executive Leopold joined a prayer vigil this week as police asked for the public's help in finding the killer. On Friday, January 28th at 10:50 in the morning, officers from the Northern District responded to a call for a sick or injured subject in the parking lot of the Pep Boys and Gavigan's furniture stores in the 7300 block of Ritchie Highway in Glen Burnie. Joining us now is the Public Information Officer for the Police Department, Justin Mulcahy, with further details on this investigation. Justin.
Thanks, Erik. Officers arrived on scene and found an adult female victim inside of a vehicle with an apparent gunshot wound to her upper body. Anne Arundel County Fire Department personnel pronounced the victim deceased at the scene. Detectives from the Anne Arundel County Police Department's Criminal Investigation Division were called, and the incident was being investigated as a homicide. The victim in this case was identified as Myra Elizabeth Kaysen, age 63, of Glen Burnie. She was transported to the medical examiner's office in Baltimore City. At this time, there is no information on a suspect, and the investigation is ongoing. Ms. Kaysen was a 63-year-old retired Anne Arundel County school teacher. She was seen leaving Maryland Primary Care Physicians around 7:50 in the morning and arrived on the parking lot in front of the Gavigan's furniture store around 8:30 in the morning, where she was found. Anyone with information is asked to contact Homicide Detective Michelle Mangold at 410-222-3458, or you can call Police Communications at 410-222-8610, or as always, 911. Moving on now to our second incident. That took place on January 30th around 11:44 in the evening. That's when officers from the Northern District responded to the 100 block of Point Pleasant Road in Glen Burnie for a report of a citizen robbery. Now, when officers arrived on scene, they spoke with the victim, a 39-year-old male from Glen Burnie, who advised that he was taking his trash out to the curb when he was approached by a male subject who asked for a cigarette. The suspect then placed an unknown object in his back and demanded that the victim give him his wallet. The victim complied, and the suspect took the wallet, which contained an unknown amount of U.S. currency. The suspect then fled on foot towards Furnace Branch Road. Numerous officers and a canine unit searched the area, but were unable to locate the suspect. Suspect is a male, unknown race, about 5 feet 10 inches tall, wearing a dark-colored pull-down ski mask, a dark purple or black hoodie with either Ravens or Raiders written on it. He was also wearing tan work boots. As always, if you have any information on any of the crimes that we mentioned on the show or any of the suspects, contact Metro Crime Stoppers hotline. It's available 24 hours a day, toll-free. That number is 1-866-7-LOCK-UP, or text message MCS plus your message to crimes at 274-637. A third option, visit the website at www.metrocrimestoppers.net. Remember, phone calls are not recorded and callers remain anonymous. You might even be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,000. Back to you, Erik.
Thanks, Justin.
There is more Week in Review to come. Take a look at our community events calendar for what is happening around the county. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
And welcome back. Well, with the growth of the internet and social media, we thought it would be a special treat for our Week in Review viewers to bring to you today a gentleman who is known here in the county as the blogger, our own John Frenaye from Eye on Annapolis. John, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for asking me, Erik.
We appreciate you coming out to the program and taking a few minutes away from the computer to talk to our viewers out there instead of our online viewers.
Absolutely.
Listeners. So I want to start with a little bit about social media. I mean, this is something that we've seen over the course of pretty quick here, over the last 2 to 3 years, really come in and take over the way people get their news and information. You developed a site, Eye on Annapolis. How do you see that as competing in today's media market?
It's a great supplement to today's media market. When you figure about what media is, you typically think of magazines, newspaper, television, and radio. And as you said, people are turning around, they're looking for news more immediate, more, right in the moment. And it's just a great supplement to bring it in. You bring it in with the social media, you bring it in with Facebook and Twitter, bring it into blogging, which tends not to be more the deep investigative pieces, but real quick snippets, and it's just sort of just the facts. It's the Joe Friday of the news world.
Absolutely.
So what things can we typically find on your blog?
What types of things? Pretty much everything. I mean, the focus of Eye on Annapolis is to cover anything that's of interest to anybody that lives, plays, or visits Anne Arundel County. It's certainly not all-encompassing. There's some other outfits that do great jobs with, deep news and calendars and everything else. But we do cover crime, we cover education, we cover government, both for Anne Arundel County and the city of Annapolis as well. Education, I think I mentioned that. Events that are going around, fundraisers, nonprofits. We have a weekly volunteer corner post, which all the different volunteer opportunities that are available through the county. And it's a snippet of what's going on around the county, and everybody really seems to enjoy it.
Well, John, I tell you, you tend to, and I do read the blog from time to time.
Thank you.
You do tend to, and you do a nice job, but you do tend to get the stories before anybody else. I see a lot of times I'll see Eye on Annapolis has something, and then maybe a day or two later, you'll start to see it in the bigger press, the Capitol, or in the Sun paper. How are you getting that information? What's your secret? Give us the secret of the trade.
A lot of it's luck. Sometimes I will get an email message. Sometimes a reader will send me a note, a tip, if somebody is actually there witnessing something. And a lot of it is just really sort of knowing what's going to resonate with the community. I'm just trying to think recently. I know there was down in South County, there was an unfortunate assault, and I knew that was going to be something that's going to register with the community, and they're going to want to talk about that. So that was something that we would go with. A lot of it is luck. We got to subscribe to different alerts from different services that will send us different things. So we get that. And the neat thing is that we can be immediate as far as our, we can go right out onto Twitter immediately. We can go right out onto Facebook immediately. On the blog, it might be 3 or 4 minutes before you get it out there. And we're not stuck to a deadline with the Capitol. The Capitol has a 2 p.m. deadline, I'm sorry, they switched.
They backed up to 11.
They're down in the morning. And if something happens after 11 o'clock in the morning, it's old news by the time. And with today's media, it's really got to be immediate.
So how many viewers or hits do you typically have on your blog now?
There's any number of different ways to look at that. Right now, we are averaging about 1,700 unique visitors per day. So that's 1,700 people that are coming there and doing something. They typically look at about 3 pages, which is kind of neat. And I'm very proud. We're just about to hit our 500,000th, half-millionth visitor in probably the next couple of days.
So what kind of comments are you getting back? I know that you, on blogs, unlike other media outlets, TV, radio, you can get comments. So you could post something on there. You don't necessarily have to document all your sources as a big major media outlet would, because it is a blog. But what kind of comments are you getting back from the public on this?
Well, as far as documenting, I mean, we try to document as where we can, where we get the sources from as best we can. And obviously there's a lot of corrections that go through it when you, I'm just trying to think, that was something that was, with a breaking news type of a story.
Sure.
You put what you know, and then if you know something more, you correct it. And you leave the original thing there, so people can sort of see your changes as you've gone through that. And being able to correctly, ultimately, at the end, get to the final true story really brings a lot of credibility to the table there. And you sit there, and you're not afraid to, I made a mistake.
Sure, that's easy enough to say, easy enough to admit. I do it all the time, right, Karla?
I think we both do, Erik.
We do. But tell me, did you have a career, or you were a journalist in your past life before you did this, or how did you get involved in this? Because you do a good job. You break some good stories on
my background actually is in travel.
Okay.
I have owned several travel agencies in the county. I have an online agency currently still that's pretty much run by somebody else that's managing it. And through that, I worked with MSNBC.com. I was a travel columnist for them. I had a syndicated column, and I had learned a lot of the social media and a lot of the new internet Web 2.0 and Internet 2.0 through them. When it came to Annapolis, and there was very little blogs, there was very little other media other than the Capitol. You look at What's Up magazine, you've got WRNR, WNAV, and there really wasn't anything that was out there, and I thought it was just something that was just sort of something to fill in the gaps, and that's where it was. I didn't want to be too focused on Annapolis per se, despite the name, because Anne Arundel can be spelled any number of different ways. I went with something a little bit easier to remember. But I didn't want to be too large, and I figured, just focus on the county and what's of interest to the people that live, work, and play here.
Good.
So we have the Eye on Annapolis blog, the Facebook page, the City of Annapolis Facebook page, Twitter. What's next?
Well, it's not the City of Annapolis. It's not an official page. It's called Annapolis, Maryland, and we grabbed that a long time. We've got about 32 or 33,000 fans that are on that. And that's a lot of fun. We're just keeping our eye out for it. As we grow, as we're able to, bring on maybe some paid staff, that's my goal down the line. We're certainly going to integrate some of the other social media things into there. We're looking to Foursquare. Let's find out where the bloggers are, where the photographers are. So that's where we are. And obviously, we're looking to forge our relationships with the different departments in the county, within the departments of the city. Different organizations throughout. It was great. Special Olympics contacted us. They wanted us to cover the polar bear plunge. So it was just wonderful to be able to get down there. We brought, myself. I had somebody else that was writing for us. Then we also had another photographer that came down there, and we were able to document that really cold morning.
Yeah, it was cold. But I can't let you get out of here, John, without talking a little bit about Anne Arundel County and some of the major things that you've seen and you've reported on over the years, and what you see for the future, what you see as the big issues facing Anne Arundel County, and maybe some challenges we have going forward.
I don't think there's any surprises there, Erik. I think you look at crime is a huge issue, and it's moving everywhere. We just look, with what happened up here in Glen Burnie, with this poor woman in the parking lot. Yeah. South County used to think that they were a little bit exempt from any kind of crime, and that doesn't happen down here.
Sure.
And it is. I mean, we've had two, fairly recent crimes that have happened down there. Education is huge with the amount of parents and families that we have here, especially when you look at in certain areas where you had a high concentration of families that went to private education, and now they're switching to public education. So they're taking a great interest in the public education and what their children are getting for their tax dollars and everything else. And then obviously we want to keep our politicians and everybody on, transparency is the name of the new millennium.
That's it.
And that's something that we really need to hold them accountable for. And I think people really want to see that.
Well, a new council is in town. County Executive Leopold, of course, has been reelected. A couple new freshman delegates over there at the General Assembly. The political bend in the county, what do you see? Is that going to stay leaning more towards the conservative side, or do you see the ability for it to move a little more back to the center?
I think Anne Arundel County has been more conservative than certainly many other counties in the state. And I really think it's moving that way. I think you're looking at the new people that are moving into the area are looking for a more conservative bend to it. Certainly, it's not going to be too much of an impact that you're going to be able to. I don't think it would be too much of an impact where you could infect an election or something, or a gubernatorial election or something like that. I don't think we'll ever, go that way. But I do think the services and what we offer here, I think the population is looking for that. I think. It'll be interesting to see the council this term's council without any females represented. I don't know how that demographic will hold out, but it'll be interesting to see. And I mean, it's got a fairly decent mix of people on there, and I think it's great. I mean, I think overall, as with anybody that gets reelected with County Executive Leopold. obviously he's been doing something right to get the majority of the people back. And certainly there's not without controversy, as with,
Sure.
the mayor of Annapolis or, whatever it is. But it's, and the voters will look to hold, pretty much everybody accountable for them. And, blogs actually bring that out into them. They're able to join the conversation. They're able to comment on a thing. I think you're wrong on this. I think you're right on that. And here's my opinion. And it's kind of interesting to see how everybody moves.
Absolutely. Well, things are moving, especially in the world of blogs. Things are moving. It's amazing how quick you can just get information and get news stories. And of course, you can get them at Eye on Annapolis. Go check out John Frenaye's site, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find out everything that's going on in Anne Arundel County that we might not tell you about until next week here on Week in Review.
Right.
So, John, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
And best of luck in your future endeavors, and keep doing a great job over there.
Well, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, John.
Thanks.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and send it to a break, and when we come back, there'll be more real-time news here on Week in Review.
One day, you were simply struggling to be a dad. The next, you're coping with a diagnosis of childhood cancer. CureSearch.org can help. It's run by doctors and scientists whose research has led to an overall cure rate of 78%. You're not as alone as you feel.
Welcome back. Well, in this week's Community Spotlight, one of our newest members of Community and Constituent Services, Ms. Jody Leddy, will talk with community leaders about the efforts to build a new recreation center in West County. Jody.
Hello, I'm Jody Leddy, and I'm here today at the Blue Dolphin Restaurant in Crofton. Here with me today are John Hollywood and Michelle Corkadell, both leaders in the Crofton community. Today we're going to talk about the Crofton Regional Community Center project and a special event they have coming up to raise funds for the project. John, please tell us more about the project.
I would be really excited to do that. Something that Crofton has been looking forward to for a very, very long time is the Crofton Regional Community Center. As a matter of fact, if we go back and look at history and we look at the small area plan, this was number 2 as to what members of the community were interested in. The Crofton Regional Community Center will be a building of about 32,000 square feet. It will be designed both for young people from the ages of 3 all the way up to little more experienced people to the age of 99. Internally within the center, we will have a basketball court, we'll have martial arts ability locations there. We're also going to have dance studios, and most importantly, we'll have a location for members of the Crofton community to meet. And there's also one other item that I should mention. As part of a location for young people, we also plan on having a skate park, and that will also be an integral part of the entire Crofton Regional Community Center.
Great, thanks, John. My son will really enjoy that skate park. He's trying to be a skater dude these days. So, Michelle, tell us about what's the proposed timeline for the project.
Well, the project's going to take a little while, as most capital projects do. Our first focus is to raise enough money for the startup of the site work. We're going to need to do some civil work, obviously, and we're going to make sure that it meets all the new environmental codes, as well as a design that will be flexible enough to handle all of the activities that the community desires to have there. Our first initiative will be to build the skate park. The skate park is something that the teenagers are looking forward to, and it'll bring a new level of extreme sport activity and alternative sports to the region in general.
So are you planning on building the skate park before you build the indoor facility?
There's a very strong possibility of that as we move forward. Once the site work is complete, we will move forward with the standing building with various phases associated with it as the fundraising affords itself to.
That sounds wonderful. So about how much funding are you guys looking at to raise to begin breaking ground on this project?
It's going to be about $7 million to build the entire complex, and then we're going to have an additional $3 million for operational expenses. Now, one of the nice things about this particular location and this particular site is that it is something that the community is coming forward with all of the money. The county under John Leopold was kind enough to lease the land to us along with the county council. So we will build the land, we will build the center, and we will run the center. And it will all be community organized, prepared, and funded.
Great. Wonderful. So speaking of community organized, let's talk about the Sweetheart Ball that you have coming up as a fundraiser for the event. It sounds like a fantastic and fun event for not just the Crofton community, but all residents of Anne Arundel County. Tell us more about the event and what you have planned.
This is something that is really going to be neat. In the dead of winter, February 19th, we are going to have a black tie optional event here at the Blue Dolphin restaurant. And it's something that we're really, really looking forward to. We're going to have Trey Williams as a DJ who's well known in the local area, who's going to be supporting us. We're going to have a silent auction, and depending upon the amount of material we receive, we may in fact have a live auction. Tickets are $100.
And how do I buy these tickets, John?
You can give me a call at area code 301-261-3515. And this is the Sweethearts Ball. And since if you're coming with your sweetheart, then rather than paying $100, you're going to pay $150 for two, a significant savings.
And there's going to be food and drinks?
Food and drink. We're going to have 2 carving stations. We're going to have a buffet. Brian McCann, who is the owner of the Blue Dolphin, is going to go all out to make sure that this is going to be a really, really nice event. As I said, it's going to be black tie optional, and that is the only event during this period of time that I'm familiar with that's going to be like that.
Yeah, it sounds really fun. So tell us about, if I'm a business or an individual interested in sponsoring the event or interested in volunteering to help with the event, how would I go about that?
Contact me. We have different packages available for sponsorship as far as businesses are concerned. We go from platinum all the way down to silver. And currently we have 1 platinum sponsor and 1 gold sponsor. And I want to give a shout out both to Senator Janet Greenup, who is our chairman, and also Bel Air Engineering, who are one of the folks that are in fact current sponsors. We have a number of other sponsors upcoming. I haven't gotten a check yet. And so until I do, we have 2 thus far.
Okay, and ticket sales, as I understand, are already underway.
Ticket sales are underway, and I want you to know that tickets are going much faster than I thought. So if you're interested, and I know you will be, because as I said, in the dead of winter, there aren't many opportunities for sweethearts to get together, particularly right after Valentine's Day. But it'll be a nice event. Call me, area code 301-261-3515, and I will be most happy to provide you with tickets, or sponsorship events for that matter. And by the way, since we are a community event, this is a community event, and we are a community organization, we're always looking for volunteers, for individuals that want to help us, because the community center cannot be built without the support and help of all of the people in the local community, and that includes both Crofton, Gambrels, and Odenton. So give me a call on that too.
All right, sounds great. Thanks, John. And on behalf of County Executive Leopold's office, I want to thank you again, Mr. John Hollywood, Ms. Michelle Corkadell, for being with us here today at the Blue Dolphin Restaurant in Crofton. Again, if you're interested in helping with the Crofton Regional Community Center project and or attending the Sweethearts Ball on February 19th, please visit www.croftonregionalcommunitycenter.net. It's all one word. Or call John at 301-261-3515. And for Anne Arundel County's Week in Review, I'm Jody Leddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody.
The Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to 1,821 calls for service. This included more than 1,217 emergency medical calls and 244 fire calls. 2 major incidents involved a fire that destroyed a North County home and a 2-car collision in Arnold where 5 people were seriously injured. With me now to tell us more about these events is Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Chief?
Thanks, Karla. On Monday, January 31st, 2011, Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported dwelling fire in the area of Ember Drive and Baltimore-Annapolis Boulevard. First unit to arrive on the scene reported heavy smoke and fire coming from the first and second floors of a 2-story single-family dwelling. At that time, an exterior fire attack was initiated.
and it took more than 30 firefighters about 45 minutes to bring the one-alarm incident under control, utilizing an elevated master stream device and hand lines. There were no civilian or firefighter injuries as a result of the incident. The fire, which originated in the interior of the home, caused an estimated $100,000 in damages. The cause of the fire has been ruled accidental and is being blamed on an electrical issue within the home. A second incident this week sent 5 people to area hospitals with serious injuries. The incident occurred just before 2 p.m. on Tuesday, February 1st, 2011. At that time, Anne Arundel County firefighters and paramedics responded to a reported motor vehicle collision in the area of Ritchie Highway and West Campus Drive in Arnold. The first units to arrive on the scene reported a 2-vehicle side impact accident with entrapment. First arriving crews provided medical care to the injured and trapped occupants, while firefighters, utilizing specialized rescue tools, extricated the victims. In all, there were 4 patients who were taken via ground ambulance to the University of Maryland's R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center in Baltimore. A 5th patient who suffered minor injuries was taken to Anne Arundel Medical Center in Annapolis. Karla?
Thank you, Chief. And Erik has moved over to the Sports Palace to bring us this week's local highlights and the Recreation and Park Spotlight. Erik?
Well, thanks, Karla. For this week's Recreation and Park Spotlight, Recreation Specialist Carolyn Ryan is at the Arnold Senior Center to talk about our dance program. Carolyn.
Thanks, Erik and Karla. Well, we're here at the Arnold Senior Center with Lindsay Shaner, dance coordinator for Anne Arundel County Recreation and Parks. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for coming today.
Absolutely. Now, we're at Arnold Senior Center, but you have dance programs going on throughout the county, correct?
Yes, we have classes all the way down at the South County Rec Center and up at the North County Rec Center and everywhere in between at different senior centers and schools.
Great. So accessible to everyone out there. Very good. And what ages do the programs run for?
We have classes for boys and girls too, all the way up through adults.
All the way through adults.
All the way through adults.
We'll have to get Erik and Karla out here for a class sometime. And I hear there's also a recital for some of the classes at the end of the year.
Yes, the majority of the classes participate in a recital. The recital is completely optional and it is free to the public to come watch. It's Memorial Day weekend.
Well, I had a chance to sit down with a couple of your dancers. Let's hear what they had to say.
Wonderful.
And we're here with
Emma
and
Allison.
And how old are you ladies?
7, 6.
And how long have you been taking dance?
3 years. 2 years.
And what is your favorite thing about dance?
Like, I have great teacher. I have a great teacher.
Very good. And you're getting ready to take a ballet and tap class tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay, and which is your favorite out of those two, ballet or tap?
Both. Tap.
Tap. Very good. Well, thank you, ladies, very much for being on the show. Well, it sure sounds like they are enjoying the dance program, so you guys are doing a great job. How can people get information about how to sign up for dance programs?
You can visit our website at www.aacounty.org, or you can pick up a program guide at any of the local schools or libraries.
Great. Well, back to you guys at the studio.
Thanks, Carolyn. Well, I wish I had moves like that, but at least I can report the sports. Good day, sports fans. Well, in this week before the Super Bowl, some of our local high school stars have had some super games. We lead off on the hardwood on the ladies' side, where the Lady Cavs took on a tough battle with a good McDonough squad. The first half saw both teams play strong defensively, forcing 10 turnovers each. But the Lady Cavs found a way to break the McDonough D, scoring 9 straight to end the half, including an unbelievable half-court shot from Spalding star guard Maggie Morrison, just before that buzzer went off before halftime. Spalding continued the momentum in the second half, scoring 31 to give the Lady Cavs win number 20 on the season, 64-53. Well, elsewhere, the ladies from AACS, that's Annapolis Area Christian School, took care of the Friends School, 45-36. Severn dropped a close one to St. Francis, 52-46. And the Meade girls get their revenge on Arundel, beating them 53-39, with Amana Bailey scoring a game-high 28 points. Well, talking about the Super Bowl and some super players, Wednesday was National Signing Day for our high school seniors, And this year it took place at Old Mill High School, where we saw 4 high school seniors signing their commitments. Old Mill's Joe McCargo is heading to Towson next season. And do-it-all running back Damon Brown from Old Mill will be heading to play football for the Midshipmen right here in Annapolis. Arundel superstar running back Joe Blackwell will be close to home, playing for Georgetown. And Ed Hunt will be heading off to Monmouth. Well, I tell you, Karla, these guys are superstars, but I understand we're going to talk about some superstars in the world of music in our next report.
Thanks, Erik. Well, they came, they saw, they battled, they rocked. The Anne Arundel County Battle of the Bands was a huge success. New Kings of the County Pandemonia were crowned after 12 groups gave it their all on stage at Maryland Hall. You may remember that the band from Severna Park High School was here 2 weeks ago speaking with us in the studio. They were also the last band to perform in the contest, and they really blew the judges away with their percussion explosion. We want to congratulate Pandemonia and all of the winners. The top 4 bands will take the stage next at the Whiskey in Annapolis on February 18th. Tickets are $10 at the door. Joining Pandemonia will be In Soviet Russia from Southern High School, Monkfish from South River High, and Capstone from the Key School.
Well, I guess being on this show, Karla, brings a little bit of good luck to these bands.
I think so.
Yeah, they won. Also, a programming note that we'll be airing Battle of the Bands in its entirety on this channel, so stay tuned and we'll bring you all that information as soon as we get the entire show up for everybody to see. Well, it was. I didn't make it out there to the Battle of the Bands, but you know, the Capitol had a great article, big spread on the top of the headline.
A lot of pictures of all of the bands.
A lot of photos. So it's really, I mean, they had a lot of people that showed up for this. Something else we have this weekend that a lot of people are going to show up for. The Super Bowl.
Yeah. Who are you rooting for, Erik?
Here's my prediction.
Yeah.
I have always rooted for the loser. So you know what? Being a Ravens fan, I'm rooting for Pittsburgh. I want the Steelers to lose. I want Green Bay to beat them, so I'm going to root for the Steelers.
Okay.
So that guarantees that the Packers, you heard it here first, will win the Super Bowl because I'm rooting for the Steelers. And if by some chance the Steelers win, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I will wear something Pittsburgh next week on the show.
Really? Do you own anything? Do you own any Steelers?
No. Somebody will have
jerseys or anything?
If somebody out there has, if there's Steeler fans, and I know where you live, bring me some Pittsburgh. Send me something Pittsburgh.
If anything else, we'll dress you in black and yellow.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen because I'm rooting for Pittsburgh so that they lose. That's my whole theory and my philosophy. But you know, the Super Bowl isn't just about football, Karla. It's about the commercials. I mean, they run the most expensive, the most unique commercials right around the Super Bowl because it's when all Americans' TVs are tuned into not this station, but whatever station is carrying the Super Bowl.
I know a lot of people now who watch the commercials and then get up and go make food while the actual game is on.
It's a football game. Why are you not watching a football game? I want to talk about that for a minute here as we've got a few minutes before we close out the show. The most memorable Super Bowl, because Super Bowl has almost become like a holiday in this country. Most memorable Super Bowl for you?
Well, for me, a lot of my family's from Chicago. My mom is still
We'll forgive you for that.
Okay, it's still a pretty big Bears fan. She'll still sing the Bear Down Chicago Bears song and all of that. So for me, it was back in the early 80s with the Super Bowl Shuffle.
Yeah. Good Super Bowl.
I think we even owned the cassette tape of that. So.
Yeah. Well, it's just amazing that it really has become a day that people say, you know, people always say, well, I knew where I was when John F. Kennedy was shot, when Reagan was shot, when the Challenger blew up. They'll remember one of their top 10 memories. I remember the Super Bowl of 1997 when I watched Ickey Woods do the Ickey Shuffle. I mean, they remember
What's your
that.
favorite?
My favorite, of course, being a Ravens fan, is when the Baltimore Ravens, a brand new franchise, 4 or 5 years old, well, not a brand new franchise, but when they came to Baltimore, 4 to 5 years after they came to Baltimore, 2000, 2001 season, they went down to Tampa. They ran through the playoffs as underdogs, as a wild card team, winning on the road, and then going to Tampa and beating the New York Giants in convincing fashion to give the Ravens their first Super Bowl victory, and there'll be more to come. So, but mine's more around the football. But a lot of people, they build this as a party. A lot of chicken wings are going to be eaten on Sunday. A lot of good fried food, potato chips. It's a great day. It is a holiday.
It is a holiday. So. Yeah. Too bad it's on a Sunday night because we all have to work on Monday morning. But
absolutely.
Other than that.
Make sure you get into work on Monday morning. No reason to party too much here in Baltimore because you got to watch the Steelers on Sunday night. But it's still a Super Bowl. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. Of course, you can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are available at blip.tv, and you can subscribe to that free, yes, free, video podcast at iTunes. And we are very happy to announce that Week in Review is now available on YouTube. You've been asking for it, so we did it. We put you on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/user/AACTVWIR to go to our main page. You can also go to YouTube and search for Anne Arundel County Week in Review to find our videos. As of this taping, you'll find the first 4 episodes from this year with new episodes that'll be uploaded and available for viewing every Saturday. So there's no reason why you can't get your county news. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around our county, and we will see you next time.